Hello and welcome back to the MMA Split, a special edition, a little bit of a deep dive that we are doing on football players who have transitioned into the professional sport of MMA. To help us out with that, we have got UFC 11 fight veteran himself in the promotion, Eryk, your boy Anders, 13-5-1 record overall, to help us out. Of course, he was a star of the Alabama Crimson Tide playing at linebacker, had a heroic 7-tackle and forced fumble performance in the national championship game. And of course, on June 12th, we'll be fighting in his highly anticipated rematch against Darren the Dentist Stewart. First thing I suppose I want to ask you, Eryk, is, when you decided to kind of move into professional MMA, was it kind of one moment that you suddenly decided this is what I'm going to do? Or did you sort of do some training first and then try some amateur fights?
Man, really before I fought, like I did jiu-jitsu, and I've been an athlete my whole life, and then football didn't work out, so I just needed something to occupy my mind and keep me striving for something like more, man, to be honest, I just kind of got bored doing the 9-to-5 thing for a while, and started with jiu-jitsu. For a while, it just wasn't enough. So I watched TV, I watched MMA, I watched UFC, and man, I was kind of one of those guys who, I thought to myself, man, I could beat these guys up. I know I can fight. And then I went into a gym, sparred, got beat up, and quickly realized that I didn't know how to fight. But it was at that moment that I realized that this is what I want to do. Like, it just kind of, lit a fire, and I was hungry because I wanted to learn the skill set. I wanted to prove to myself that I could compete at the highest level. Not making it in football kind of left a bitter taste in my mouth with sports. So I just wanted to prove to myself that I could make it and have a successful professional career in something.
Fair enough. Fantastic. And Josh, I'll pass you over to your question.
Yeah, man. It's cool that you've always been so hungry about everything. But obviously, like football and MMA, really different sports. Both of them have got some overlap. You've got to have a specialized skill set. You've got to be very athletic, very durable. What for you was the hardest adjustment to make in transitioning?
The striking part, the being in space, the angles, the movement, not getting too extended on punches, and the grappling, kind of came way more natural than the striking did, man. I'm still not the greatest striker, but man, I used to be way worse, super flat-footed. They used to call me Frankenstein because I would just like plop forward and I hit you, you hit me, we hit each other, and the last one standing is the one who wins, kind of thing. And but that's not very conducive to a long career. So I had to kind of get away from that style a little bit, and I always have it in my back pocket because at the end of the day, that's just kind of who I am. But the moving on my feet for me was the hardest part.
I'm guessing that obviously, as you say, you had to change all your footwork. You had to. I'm guessing the training is completely different. Is there certain aspects that you really hated about football training that compared to the stuff you hate training in MMA, or is there stuff that you also enjoy in training in MMA that you probably didn't enjoy in football in comparison?
Well, the thing that I hated the most in MMA was running, like the running 4 or 5 miles. But I don't even do that anymore. So, I guess the only part really that I hate is dieting. I'm a burger, pizza, beer, kind of guy when I'm not fighting. So when I have to cut all that stuff out, not that it's miserable. It's just that, I would prefer to eat, a nice greasy pizza and drink a nice beer rather than drinking water all day and eating salads, And in football, it was just the opposite. I had to eat so much because I was pretty undersized. So, man, I would just get tired of eating so much, you know. So, you know, I really don't get to enjoy like the eating how I should, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So when I played football, you know, they really cared about my size and how much I was weighing. So I had to lift a lot of heavy weights and then, you know, go eat. You know, I was eating pizzas at like 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, just crazy stuff. And you know, when I'm cutting to 85, like I eat every like 4 hours, every 5 hours, you know, I'm eating salad and, you know, stuff that I just wouldn't never eat. Not that I would never eat, but that I don't eat when I'm not getting ready for a fight. So, you know, my diet from one sport to another has been, you know, extreme on both ends.
Yeah, complete opposite, really complete opposite on both ends. Yeah.
Out of curiosity, what's your cheat snack once you've had a fight? What's your go-to food after you've done the camp?
Oh man, like I said, you know, I like a lot of people. As soon as they get off the scale, they start eating crazy. But you know, you got to fight the next day, so I don't want to be so lethargic. So you know, the hardest part is from the scale to the end of the fight. After the fight, you know, especially when there's a crowd. If I fight early, man, I'm gonna go back to the hotel. I'm gonna shower and I'm gonna come right back to the arena and stand in line and get a beer. So just so you know, because I'm a fight fan, I love watching fights. So you know, I'll go grab a beer and a burger and sit down in the arena and, you know, enjoy the rest of the night. So I guess a beer from you know, the arena would be my preferred first thing that I eat. But you know, in the green room they got cakes and ice cream and stuff, and I like that stuff. So you know, anything sweet, you know, I'm diving into right after the fight.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Hey, what is the difference between your weight when you played football and kind of the weight when you walk into the cage on a Saturday night?
I think the biggest I ever got was like 248, 250 or something like that. And you know, when I get back into the cage, you know, when I fight, you know, I think I'm in that 210, 215, 220 range, depending on what weight class I'm fighting at.
Okay. If I could ask, sort of, obviously you've mentioned that striking is kind of the most challenging part since you've moved over in terms of getting your distance right. And obviously with your brown belt in jiu-jitsu, with your kind of grappling that you got from playing linebacker, that's been a little bit easier. But kind of on the mental side, what from your football career, physically or mentally, has helped you the most in MMA, whether it's sort of the discipline or the toughness or the facing adversity that you kind of went through in your experience at Alabama?
I think all of that, you know, I think one of the things that I was missing the most about football subconsciously was the regimen of football, the routine, you know, having to be somewhere at a certain time to, you know, and actually doing something I like. Because, you know, when I was doing the 9 to 5 thing, I'd have to be at work at 8 o'clock or whatever, but man, I didn't want to be there, you know, kind of thing. But, you know, I enjoyed practice. I enjoyed training. So when I have to be somewhere, it's like, it's a joy to be there. It's a pleasure. It's not a hassle or a chore. You know, so, you know, I miss the routine. I miss the camaraderie of the locker room. You know, you know, there are times in a football game where and they even simulate in practice or in the off season, like you being down and having to come back and win a game. You know, so being able to bounce back from adversity. You know, I think all these things, you know, transcend sports because, you know, you lose the first 2 rounds of a fight, then you go out in the 3rd round and getting a knockout is the same as, you know, Alabama losing to Georgia. You know, I forget what the score was, but, you know, it's like I think it was 2018 or 19 when Bama beat Georgia. You know, they were down, and then, you know, Devontae Smith catches that pass from Tua. Yeah, from Tua to win the game. You know, it's they're very similar circumstances and scenarios.
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, I'm a big Tua fan. I'm a Miami Dolphins fan. And Josh is a big Eagles guy. So we've both got former Bama quarterbacks kind of rooting someone for next season.
Right.
Out of curiosity, Do you support an NFL team or do you follow an NFL team?
Oh man, I really just enjoy watching the guys that I played with, especially go out there and succeed. So right now, Mark Ingram just got traded to the Texans, so I'll be watching the Texans a lot more this year.
Good to know.
Nice. Obviously, like, you're real hungry in your career. You're a real competitor, and it sounds like you really love training MMA. What is your favorite part of MMA? I mean, kind of comparing it to sort of football, it seems like you never feel like you have to train. Everything's like a chore. But what is your absolute favorite part?
Man, just being competitive, even in drilling and sparring and things like that, going out there trying to find your edge. And then, in MMA, it's a little bit different because, like, when I'm sparring for a fight, when I'm sparring to fight Darren Stewart, I'm not necessarily looking to win, but to have success with the game plan, just like you would in football. You have your base stuff, the stuff that your bread and butter, the stuff that you're gonna do anyways. But every fight is different, and so like the game plan is different. So you have to develop like a different skill set, or add on to an existing skill set as a part of the game plan. So to me, that's the best part, is going out there and trying to implement and make my game plan for my upcoming opponent work.
That's cool, man. I guess it's real different studying a game plan as a team compared to, like, it's not a team sport anymore. You're the only guy. It's your game plan now. Like, that would definitely be like a cool part of like the individual sport. I think we all agree.
Yeah, for sure.
Just out of interest, like, you say like you were doing jiu-jitsu first. How do you see yourself kind of being defined as a fighter at the end of your career? More of a grappler, more of a striker?
I think I'm always going to be very partial to the striking part. One, there's no better feeling than to knock another man your size out, and to win a fight like that. And two, the crowd loves it. The people love it. It's almost like you're a gladiator out there. You get the thumbs up or the thumbs down from the people. And then, when it comes to your next contract, it's like, oh, this guy's a boring fighter. We're not going to pay him as much. Oh, this guy's an exciting fighter. Open the checkbook. So, fortunately for me, I've kind of made a living off striking and getting in crazy fights. And, I can do that, forever. Or, I mean, obviously, everybody has a time limit, but, but those are just kind of fights I like to be in. So it's lucky me.
That's cool, man. I've just got like one last question just on the special. How do you think Nick Saban would do as an MMA coach?
Man, I think that he would do awesome, because the thing about Nick Saban is he's very obsessive. So as it pertains to football, like, he's up at the football complex from like 6 in the morning till 11 o'clock at night. So he's up there watching film, coming up with game stuff like that, and I just feel that he would do the same. He would find a way to get an edge, a competitive edge. He just wouldn't leave any stones unturned. Obviously, it's the fighter who's got to go out there and fight and all that, but put the fighter in the best possible scenario to win.
That's cool, man.
Very nice. Just touching obviously on your big fight coming up on June 12th. How is preparation going for everything? How's training camp going ahead of it?
Man, it's going awesome. If you thought the progression you saw from my last fight, my last fight was I made a lot of progress and skill set development, then just wait till you see what another 9 weeks of training with Eddie Shaw does. So I'm super excited to go out there and showcase and
Absolutely. Well, I think all of us can agree that in your last fight, aside from obviously how it ended, it was certainly one of the best performances that we've seen from you in terms of mixing everything together. So we're very excited to see what's going to be coming up. And how does it feel, obviously, being able to compete in Arizona?
You know, that was quite a surprise to me, but man, it's awesome. You know, they really don't come to Alabama so much, and I've been training out here in Alabama, or excuse me, Arizona. You know, we're in the 5th month of the year, and I've been out here for 4 of them. You know, so it's you know, I live out here half the year basically, so you know, this is kind of a home game for me.
Very nice, very nice. And final thing just to touch on, obviously you mentioned that you're a big fight fan as well. Surely you watched UFC 262 last night. What were your thoughts on the card?
Oh man, I was there live in color, man. You know, it was an awesome card just to feel the energy of the crowd, and you know that's something that, you know, it's been so long since they've had fans, and I fought in front of a crowd that you know, you almost forget what an impact the crowd has on the actual fight, man. You know, that Shane Burgos and Edson Barbosa, man, the crowd was on its feet the whole time, screaming, cheering. Oliveira, Chandler, dude, it was just insane in there. And, you know, that's something as a competitor you miss, to hear that roar of the crowd.
No, it's an absolutely fantastic card. And you must be very excited to be competing in front of fans as well, again.
Like I said, you know, just being in the crowd, you know, kind of you know, so just imagine how I feel when I'm in the cage fighting.
Very nice. Sorry, I think you were breaking up a little bit there, but just a couple of last things. Any last questions?
Y'all hear me though? Y'all say hi to Eddie Shaw, the man, the myth, the legend, Eddie Shaw.
How you doing? Well, listen, Eryk, thank you so much for your time. You're obviously a busy guy. We're going to let you get on with things, but thank you so much. We actually live in Europe, so you've got fans literally all across the world. And we're English, and we're still supporting you against Darren Stewart, who's one of our own.
Yeah, we don't root against the English often, but we are for you, man. Like, you're a legend.
Oh, yeah.
We love the guys that mix it up.
So much,
and
man.
the way that you're mixing things up at the moment, you're going to do great things. So you've got our support. We're going to have this out just before you fight as a special. Thank you for your time, and have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Man, thank you guys, man. Thank you for having me anytime.
Oh, shit. Sorry, one last question, man. I kill myself if I forgot to ask you this. I know John Anik loves getting people's names right. Like, they send him audio files and stuff. And the way he says, your boy, like, it's the best. Did you prep him on that? Did you tell John Anik how to say your name?
Nah, but, you know, I was actually talking to John Anik yesterday. Really good friend of mine. So I'm sure that, you know, he has like a personal relationship with the fighter that, you know, he wants to do it a little bit extra, do it a little bit better, do it a little bit more. So, you know, shout out to John Anik.
That's what that is.
Cool.
Listen, man, you're an absolute legend. Take care. Best of luck for June 12th.
Yeah, good luck, man.
Thank you so much.